Egun on guztioi, ongi etorri, prentsaurreko honetara. Gaur, arratsaldean erakusketa aretoan inauguratuko dugu The Artwork as a Living System. Erakusketa aurkeztuko dugu Krista Sommerer eta Loran Miño, no? Barkatu, artistena. Gurekin da, era berean, Genoveva Ruekert, arte garaikideko komisarioa lintzeko kei zentroan, eta zentro honek koitzi du erakusketa ZKM, Karlsrugeko ZKM, eta Imalekin batera, Bruselako Imalekin batera. 2024ko erakusketa egitarauari hasiera eman nahi diogu, arte eta teknologia erakusketa honen bidez. Bertan, Krista Sommerer eta Loran Miño artisten lanari ikuspegi orokorra ematen da biak interfasearen artearen aintzindariak Europa osoan eta esan genezake mundu osoan, 80. hamarkadatik hona. The Artwork as a Living System, haien ibilbidean zaharreko bidaia da, 18 instalazio eta animazioaren bitartez, kasu askotan, dagoeneko arte digitalaren pieza klasikoak esan bezala, 30 urteko ibilaldiarekin batera. Erakusketa honen eskutik, kultura digitala erakusketa aretoan sartuko da, artearekiko lotura eginez eta teknologien dimentsio artistikoa eta gizartea eraldatzeko duten ahalmena arakatuz. Orain dela 3 urte hasi ginen planteatzen proiektu hau, Azkuna zentroan, Karin Olenslager arte garaikideko erreferentearekin, Urasen Peter Weibel eta Alfred Wedingerrekin batera erakusketaren jatorriko komisarioa. Zoritzarrez, Karin eta Peter ez daude gure artean eta haiek izan ziren proiektu honen aintzindari nagusiak. Egunon, a todas y a todos, bienvenidos y bienvenidas a esta rueda de prensa. Hoy presentamos la exposición de Artwork as a Living System de los artistas que me acompañan, Krista Sommerer y Loran Miño, y que inauguramos esta tarde a las 7. Nos acompaña también Genoveva Ruekert. No sé si pronuncio muy bien el apellido, pero Genoveva ha sido comisaria de arte contemporáneo de OK Landeskultur de Linz, Austria. Sabéis que es una ciudad y un centro muy importante dentro, el más importante o uno de los más importantes de Europa, junto con otros dos de los centros que han sido coproductores de este proyecto, el ZKM y el Centro de Arte IMAL de Bruselas, que han producido esta exposición. Y esta exposición es la cuarta estación, la cuarta parada, con una producción que se ha desarrollado a lo largo del último quinquenio. Abrimos el programa expositivo de 2024 con esta exposición de arte y tecnología, que ofrece una visión general del trabajo que los artistas han venido desarrollando durante los últimos 30 años, desde la pedagogía, también desde el arte, y en esa fusión y en esa mistura que hacen la naturaleza, la ciencia y el arte. Desde principios de los años 90, Krista y Loran han usado los algoritmos para representar no solo las formas de vida, sino también su evolución y su crecimiento, y en su trabajo conectan temas tradicionales como el arte, la naturaleza, con las tecnologías más innovadoras, empleadas casi, podríamos decir, desde lo cotidiano hasta lo quimérico o lo futurible, ¿no? The Artwork as a Living System recorre su trayectoria a través de 18 instalaciones que vais a poder ahora visitar después de que termine esta rueda de prensa y que en muchos casos se han convertido ya en piezas clásicas del arte digital. Para nosotros, para Azkuna Centro, no es la primera vez que abordamos la tecnología y el arte en la sala de exposiciones y en los proyectos. Ya ha habido varios proyectos en colaboración con estos centros, con Ars Electrónica y con el ZKM, como Open Codes, que tuvo lugar en 2019, o Artists as Catalyst en el 2014. También hubo otras 2 exposiciones, Repensando el futuro, y dentro de la Bienal de Nuevas Formas Artísticas, Las cosas que hacemos, también fue una de las exposiciones que tenía como eje el arte y la tecnología. No quiero dejar pasar esta rueda de prensa y ninguna de las presentaciones que hagamos en torno a este proyecto sin hacer una especial mención a Karin Oslenlager y a Peter Weibel, que han sido parte del equipo comisarial junto con Alfred Weidinger y que desgraciadamente han fallecido recientemente. Pero bueno, queríamos hacerles un homenaje y un recuerdo con esta exposición desde la amistad y desde el trabajo profesional que nos unió a ellos. Quiero agradecer también especialmente a Volotea, sponsor de esta exposición. Muchas gracias, Sandra, y muchas gracias, Maritza. Y para cerrar, recordaros que hoy a las 5:30 hay una conferencia con Krista y Lorán, acompañados de Josu Recalde, y que a las 19, a las 7 horas, inauguramos la exposición. Y ya sin más, voy a ceder la palabra a los protagonistas de este proyecto. Así que, Krista, Lorán, cuando queráis. ¿O quieres empezar? Do you want to start? Or? Yeah.
Maybe the artist first.
Yeah.
I think because it's your platform and I'm
Si no
happy.
habéis cogido traducción o si no necesitáis, allí en la entrada tenéis, ¿vale? Whenever you want.
So thank you so much, Fernando Perez, for this wonderful opportunity to be here to exhibit the artwork as a living system in this wonderful context. Also, thank you to your amazing team. It has been such a pleasure to set up this exhibition here with so many skilled people and really wonderful hospitality. You mentioned already many things. Maybe what I would like to add here is the artwork as a living system shows 18 works from the past 30 plus years from our art production. And maybe some of you who already followed a little bit the development of technology maybe remember the early 90s when it was not yet common to have computers and only very few experts or even geeks, we called them back then, were able to work with computers and program and develop new interfaces. So over the years, we have been, especially Laurent has been also very active in the development of interfaces, interactive works, where we often had to develop new types of interfaces that did not exist yet. And one of the pieces you will see in this exhibition is, for example, from 1992. It's an installation where you see living plants on pedestals. And when the people come and touch the plants or just approach them, they start to interact with these real plants and grow artificial graphical plants on a big screen. And back then in the early 90s, this was really unheard of. Nobody has done any such kind of invention of connecting living beings to computers through interfaces. This is just one example of the interface technologies that we developed. We are both professors at the University of Art and Design in Linz, where we are also teaching in a master program and founded a master program. But we have also been artists and researchers in Japan, living for a long time in Kyoto, where we were working as in the research and development of artistic interfaces. And the whole concept of the artwork as a living system is something that we mentioned the first time also in the mid-90s. And Karil Olenschläger, who was mentioned here, the late curator, was a very good friend of us, and she followed our development over the last 30 years. And she was fascinated by this idea of using this title of the artwork as a system as a way to put together a retrospective. And the main pieces that she chose are all pieces that are interactive, where people can get involved, and where the creation process of the works is linked to the interaction of people. So, for example, you touch plants, or you draw some forms, and then you see fishes swimming around in the pool, or you type some text on a mysterious typewriter, or you are moving in front of a screen. So all these pieces, they only exist if people interact with them. And this is what we really love. And maybe Laurent wants to add to the way he makes these things. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So for this retrospective, of course, these artworks are old. Some of them are 30 years or a bit more. So that means that the technology evolves, and as you know, things get obsolete in the technology. So you have, as an artist, to recreate your artworks in order to show it. That's an unusual thing for an artist. Usually you want to go forward, but in this case, I had to reprogram many of them. But the idea was not to modernize them. So basically what you see in the exhibition is what you saw at the time where it was created. The only thing that changed is the projections and the computer that runs them. But since we decided not to show any technology directly to the public, nobody knows how it works, and it's not important. Whatever computer works, it's okay for us. It's gone. It's not shown to the public. What we show is an interface, or is the artwork itself, and then you have free access to it, so you can find out how it works. We don't leave instructions usually, but the reconstruction process was, of course, something that takes quite some time. And for some pieces, I had to restart from where I left them. Some were 10 years old, some were a bit older. Some we have been showing regularly, and therefore they were already in the shape of showing it. So this process of continuously relearning the technology is something very specific to digital art. In other medium, you just do something and you show it. Even if it's older, it becomes older. In this case, for digital art, you show nearly a new piece, as it used to be. So it's really strange. It's an interesting process to do that too as an artist. So you see your work, but it's in the present, and yet it's actually old. So it doesn't get old as a photograph would get old, or a painting will get old. It's actually, when it's shown again, if it's not the original material on what it has been shown in the past, it's actually a new piece in a sense. And what we would like to have is in the eye of the visitor is that they discover it also as well, as a new piece in a sense.
Maybe I should also add, and here comes in the OK Center and the Oberösterreichische Landeskultur in Linz, where Genoveva is from, that we got a really good support to reconstruct a lot of pieces through this collaboration of the Oberösterreichische Landeskultur in Linz, the ZKM in Karlsruhe, and the EMAL Center in Brussels. So without this effort, it would have not been possible to really realize this exhibition.
Yeah, thank you. It's for me, as coming from the OK Center in Linz, it's a big honor, and thank you for the invitation, the director Fernando Perez, and also Christa and Laurent. I mean, the artworks you will see, they look quite fresh, just as Christa and Laurent, and especially Laurent, who's doing the programming, described, as do the two artists. And interesting for us is now this wonderful center, which has a focus also on media art, is the fourth station of our collaboration, and it's something very unique. For us, it's really important that it comes to Basque Country and to Spain, because media art is a very interesting and hot topic in these countries, as we know for more than 20 years. And we are also thankful that together with ZKM, it's not the first collaboration we have with Centro Arzuna. So we are very happy for that. You will see an exhibition of two artists who work as a couple and as a group for many, many years. But it's also like a representation of what media art is and how media art developed. You have to imagine that Christa and Laurent, they are the first in a kind of university-trained media artists. So the very first generation, they went as very young artists, Christa coming from Austria, so where also our institution is, and we're coming from this federal state where Linz is, and Linz is famous for the Ars Electronica. As you might have heard of, it's a festival. It's not our institution, but it has an interesting development, maybe quite similar than Bilbao, because we also have an industrial background and we had huge changes after the steel crisis, just as your area. Christa coming from there and Laurent coming from France, and they both met in Frankfurt at a first postgraduate studies of media art initiated and run by Peter Weibel. And this is the curator we also grieve and have a big loss, because he was not only an artist but the curator and running this amazing institution ZKM. And so with this center and in this kind of collaboration, you can see it's really something very special and very unique to have this exhibition, especially here in this institution.
Thank you so much. Bueno, si tenéis alguna pregunta antes de que pasemos a la sala de exposiciones, o si queréis, Íñigo.
Hi, thank you. Your work has been called classic today. How does that feel, working with almost the future?
Yeah, in a way, it's an honor, of course, to be called classical pieces of art. On the other hand, it doesn't mean it stops there. We want to continue to make more works, of course. I think also back in the 90s, it was in a way a little bit easier to make artworks with this medium, with computers, and not in terms of technology, but in terms of visibility, because there were not so many artists using computers. There were only a few, and they were mostly like engineers. On the other hand, now we are, like Genoveva mentioned, now there are so many master study programs, bachelor programs, PhD programs. So there's a lot of media art everywhere these days. And some people even say that everything has become media art. You know, even the painters might start to use technology, or the people in sculpture, they also work with interfaces and computers. So everything has become very kind of hybrid media. And that's a very good thing. But this also means that if you want to be a media artist, then creating visibility or getting visibility is maybe now more difficult than back then in the 90s. That's what I would say. But in terms of technology, now it's easier, no?
Yeah, now it's easier, but back then it was difficult to get the resources. The computers that were capable of doing 3D graphics in real time were really difficult to find. They were mostly in scientific centers and not in art schools. So in a sense, you had to make a very solid project in order to get them during the exhibition. It was rented. It was not our computers, so we rented the computers. We were working in centers where they were available. And for this, you had also to prove that you could do something. And so you arrived to the machine, you had to actually work on it and learn all these things by yourself. So no one else will do it for you. So in that sense, it was the difficult part there at that time.
Maybe a small funny anecdote. Actually, that's why we met, because in the Frankfurt Institute of New Media, Peter Weibel invited us to be there. And we had only, I think, 3 or 4 computers for about 15 students. And we came a bit later, so we only had like 1 hour a day for using the Silicon Graphics computer. And Laurent came even a few weeks later, so he looked when I was sitting and using it. He asked me if he can sit next to me and watch what I'm doing. And that's how we met. And we shared the 1 hour a day computer shift together, and that's how we met.
So in a sense, we met through a computer, but very, very closely.
But he was very clever, because he pretended to not know how to use it and let me explain him everything. And later he told me, oh, but you could do this much better.
I didn't pretend
Yeah,
anything.
this was a good trick. Yes.
But locally.
Bueno, pues es que ricasco. Ahora vamos a pasar a la sala de exposiciones.